I've been giving betting picks for a few months now, and I'll talk about their results later. But the feedback I hear most often is this: don't just give tips, teach us how to pick winners. Alright then, let's do exactly that. Today, I'm going to teach you how to pick a guaranteed winner. That's impossible. Nobody can do it, and anyone who claims they can is fooling themselves. What I can discuss with you is something far more useful. That is how to read a race card properly and identify top contenders. Before we start, a few honest disclaimers. I'm not an expert. I'm learning every single day. In fact, it's genuinely difficult to break down everything I observe into parts. I may quote professionals to explain certain ideas, but no disrespect intended. I don't bet big either. For me, the thrill lies in predicting right, not in the amount wagered. This content is for beginners and for those who bet purely on tips without doing any analysis themselves. One thing you should know upfront: this process is boring, but behind the excitement of being right is boring, repetitive homework. And the best picks, they're the ones where one glance at the race card already tells you the story. I will break a news for you. The process begins much before the race card is even published. It requires regular and sincere effort, tracking races, watching horses, and slowly storing patterns in your mind. We'll first understand everything in parts, then go through few past race cards where I had posted race day notes, and finally analyze an upcoming race card together. First thing, decide your betting style. This is critical. You must decide your betting style and stick to it without regret. That's also how my pick success should be judged. My style is value betting, and I rarely back favorites at cramped odds. I will rather lose on a 3 rupee horse than win on a 40 paise favorite. But don't misunderstand this. Value doesn't mean blindly betting against the favorite. It means carefully analyzing the risk and reward ratio. Often, the most important skill is knowing where not to bet. So success cannot be judged by the number of correct predictions alone. Next is watching live races and replays. There is absolutely no substitute for this. Watch every race live and then watch the replay. Do this regularly and you'll start learning things no race card can teach you. The class of a horse, its running style, and valuable notes for the future. Race day reports is next. While clubs should ideally publish much more information, even the existing race day reports offer a completely different perspective. On December 4th, I was very confident about Zephyr. He finished 7th and was never in contention. I was surprised. But the race day report explained exactly what went wrong. I lost that bet, but I gained an important note, and Zephyr stayed in my tracker. Daily track work. This is another powerful tool, but it needs to be followed daily, not just on race day. Timings alone can be misleading. Some trainers prefer sharp track work, but that doesn't automatically make their horses superior. A classic example was Lucky Diamond, made favorite on December 4th purely on timing. Once you track work daily, you'll automatically start recognizing what good timings actually mean. I also observe how a horse works alongside another horse whose ability I already know. That comparison helps me eliminate contenders quickly. Just these 3 things: live, races, race day reports, and daily track work will already do more than half the work. Now to the race card. Let's quickly go through the key factors. Pedigree. Extremely useful for longer distances and the hardest to master. Nobody knows it all. You learn only if you're genuinely interested. At a basic level, check the distances ran and race records of the sire, dam and granddam, and see how full or half siblings have performed. This gives you a rough idea of class, speed and stamina. Weight. Very important in handicap races, but dangerous if relied on alone. You need to judge whether class will carry the weight or whether the weight will stop the horse. A good starting point is comparing previous head-to-head races, then lining up horses who haven't met each other. Jockey. Jockey booking often reflects confidence. Jockeys matter more in classics than in regular races. And remember, every jockey loses more races than they win in a day. Race record and recent runs. Look at overall performance, recent form, same distance runs, and how the horse has performed at the current center. A horse beaten in strong company often offers more value than one winning repeatedly against weak fields. Compare timings only over the same distance and preferably on similar track conditions. Track conditions can vary widely, even within the same season. Also correlate timings with how the race was run. Pace and strategy matter. Last run days and last win days. Horses returning after long breaks rarely win immediately. For example, Breakpoint lost on return but won his next start against Eagle Day. This helps eliminate runners. Track work. Beyond daily tracking, compare track work between horses in the same race. A horse with no recent run and no visible track work becomes an automatic no bet for me. Head-to-head. Analyze how horses have fared against each other, adjusting for weight, jockey, and race incidents. Paddock check. This isn't part of the race card. I get this wrong often, but it's still important. Don't bet if you don't like your horse in the paddock in terms of its walk, coat, behavior, or excessive sweating. Sometimes the smartest move is walking away. Now let's run through a race from 7 December 2025. I had posted my notes for this race day earlier. Apologies for many spelling mistakes as those notes were shared in a hurry. For this analysis, I am using a paid app purely for my convenience while making the video. However, all this information is freely available in official race books like Cole Bowl, online platforms such as indiarace.com, Racing Pulse, and also on the club website. I'll be talking only about the important points to keep this short, but in reality I go through the card much more slowly and in greater detail. This was the first race of the day. The video you are watching is from a night before when I was analyzing the race, so please do not draw conclusions with hindsight. Initial favorite is horse number 1. Believe who had won his last race and was therefore the night odds favorite with a decent overall race record. The first thing I did was check his record against the horses in this field. My first inference was clear. He had convincingly beaten horse number 3, 5, 6 and 7 earlier, all at similar weight differences. He had also beaten horse number 2, Ariana Star, and horse number 4, Red Merlot. But this needed a deeper look. Horse number 2 became morning odds favorite. The jockey booking on horse 2 immediately caught my attention. It was not the usual jockey used by this trainer, which often signals confidence. He had finished second to a good horse in his last race, in a decent timing, and his track work was satisfactory. However, when I looked at his face-to-face record, it was inconsistent. More importantly, horse number 4, who had beaten him recently at the same weight, and in this race, horse number 4 was carrying much less weight. Horse number 4 had finished 4th in his last run, but that was against a stronger field. I liked the jockey change, and despite that, he was still getting allowance. Now comes the most important part. He had beaten horse number 1 earlier with a 5 kg weight advantage. In this race, he had a 10 kg advantage. He had beaten horse number 2 earlier while giving 1 kg, and now he himself was receiving an 8 kg advantage. At this point, it was clear to me that the real race was between Ariana Star and Red Merlot. I still quickly ran through the remaining horses. Horse number 7. Mysora looked good, but had last run on 7th September over 1,000 meters and had broken a blood vessel. This is exactly why reading the race day report is critical. Horses 1, 2 and 4 had all raced together on the 25th of July 2025. Horse 1 finished 4th, horse 4 finished 6th, horse 2 finished 11th. When I reviewed that race, I noticed a significant start incident involving horse 4, yet he still managed to finish 6th. That mattered to me, and I inferred if he can get out of the gate, well then he can win. By race time, horse number 1 was the favorite and horse number 4 was offering good place odds, despite having a genuine winning chance. I found clear value on horse number 4 for a place. And as the gates were about to open, horse number 2 drifted, creating great value there as well. What was the race result? Horse number 2 won and horse number 4 finished third. Despite facing again gate issue and multiple race incidents, I know some people will say you went wrong, but there were 7 horses running in this race. But this is exactly the point of this video. This is not about claiming guaranteed winners, it is about process, value, decision making, and understanding for yourself why a bet was placed, not just whether it won or lost. Today was Calcutta Oaks Day and I posted this story in the morning. You may have not noticed, but it was based on the analysis and video I posted in the pedigree section of this video. Heart was anyways favorite, but it allowed me to not take any bet on any other horse in the field. And honestly, there couldn't be a better example than this to end this video.